There you go. I just
Sitting in my eye. And I won a personal back massage.
So what is the remedy to
The remedy.
You don't like bonfires when we blow up crap and be awesome?
The kids like it. I don't like that the firemen always have to come.
What? Wait a minute. What?
Make it happen, Captain.
That's right.
He was being a real douche.
Long neck bottle.
Can you chill out? Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Hello and marriage. Hello and welcome to the Anatomy of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
And my name is Seth Studley. Hello.
And today we're talking about the 8 insights that we gained from our worst fight in 8 years.
Ooh, and they are really good, so tune in. But first, we're going to read the review of the day, and this one comes from Kai, 1996, 123. Marriage and life-changing stuff, 5 stars. Thanks, Kai. I recently started listening to the podcast, and it's already transformed how I look at my husband in such a positive way. The grittiness they get into about what marriage really looks like is so refreshing. Prayers that more people find this podcast, and it helps their marriage like it has with ours. Awesome.
That's right.
That's what we love to hear. The whole reason we do this podcast is because it's a resource that we wish we had when we were going through our stuff. So to hear reviews and feedback like that we actually helping marriages is pretty awesome for us.
Yes, it is. And if you are enjoying the podcast, please leave us a rating and review on iTunes or wherever, because it helps other people find the show and know that it's worth listening to.
That's right.
Please, please, please do that.
By the way, what did we just hit in our ratings? 5-star style.
500.
That's right. Half a thousand.
We actually have 511 right now.
All right.
So
that's
really
awesome.
Exciting.
So thanks, guys. You are been awesome. This show is always brought to you by marriagesupply.com, where you can find marriage enhancements that will be fun for you. Trust us. marriagesupply.com. Go there. And
we're working on the shipping issues. It doesn't ship everywhere.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out.
Yes, we will. So let's dive in.
Okay. So just a little bit of backstory. This summer was really hard.
Yeah.
It was just crazy. We did a lot of great things. We went to Charleston. We went to Canada. We went to Ocean Shores in Washington. We traveled a lot and did a lot of things with family. And that is all fun and fine and well. But it was very stressful on our relationship for a bunch of different reasons. I think there had been like a cumulative... we didn't have time to talk about things. We didn't know what to talk about. And so... sometime what's going on?
I'm getting tangled up in Velcro here. Sorry. Dang it. Okay.
Yeah. Sometime back, like, I don't know, 2 months ago or something, we started having these like little arguments that would just be really weird. We'd be really upset at each other, and then they'd kind of go away, and we'd be upset, and then they'd go away. And then probably about a month ago, maybe not even that long, we had an argument that was like lasted forever. And
like when you say forever, like 4 hours,
probably maybe more than that. And it ended up that Seth was like, I was trying to communicate something, but I had been unkind, and then he had his feelings hurt, and then he started to be unkind. And so I actually slept in a different bedroom. I slept in our son's bedroom because he was spending the night somewhere, because Seth was saying such mean things to me, right?
And at this point, the argument had gone on, and I was flooded, and just... You know, you get to those points where...
He was being a real douche.
I think it was beyond that. And you get to those points where you're flooded, and it's just like... I don't want to... Like, I'm done. I'm just freaking done. You know what I'm saying? What are you laughing at?
You did this for a really long time.
Well, people watching the video can, understand what I mean by this. And, like... Most arguments, our stuff had been things that were going on unsaid probably for years and years. And I think that, we just had 14 years anniversary this year. And I think we're going through a transition time in marriage. Our kids are older, and like the whole landscape is kind of different. And we're adjusting to that and really kind of figuring out how, okay, this is our groove. This is like where we're going. Kind of thing. At least it was that for me, and it was a real time to reflect and like think about and like, okay, what do we want this right here, you and I, to be like? Let's do the real work of making it look like what we actually want it to be.
Sure. But back to the 8 insights that we got from our worst fight in 8 years and how that was going.
Eye roll. Can you hear it?
Yeah, it all kind of, it was really weird. When we went up to Canada, we got into this big fight about communicating things, and it was just ridiculous. And we were both really angry and hurt. And then when we came back home, we tried to have a conversation about it. We tried to record a video about it, which I'm going to share some in this video here. I'm not going to share the whole thing because it honestly, it was
2 hours long.
It was 2 hours long, and I couldn't render it. It wouldn't work. It just kept messing up. So I'm just going to share parts of it.
When you show me love in your language, it is absolutely not love.
I don't know what's missing is what I'm trying to get at.
Okay, I'll do it for you. I got this. You would not say that.
Yes, because I'm a different human being than you are.
Wait a minute. That's not valuing what I'm feeling. There's nothing to have a problem with.
You are
That's not okay to say.
perpetually feeling and finding a problem and a fault.
How is that showing me love? You're not understanding what I'm saying.
What I would love to hear is we're really different. How do we honor differences and promote linkages? Where's our overlap?
You are not listening to me. You are absolutely not listening to me. I don't feel heard. I don't feel validated.
I'm trying my best to understand you. It's really hard when someone has just like said the mean things that you've said. Like I don't think you see how I'm never going to treat you. That 2-hour long argument started out as a genuine, like, we're going to have a conversation about what we've been fighting about. And it just was miserable and made everything worse. But then eventually we ended up having a conversation. Again, it was like hours long. And I think I brought a whiteboard into our bedroom and was like, look, this doesn't make sense. We got to figure this crap out because it blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, it's been a very trying summer and last few weeks and months. But the things, and it doesn't even matter what we fought about. Number one, there's about 500 things. One was like the coffee shop we went to in Canada. I got mad about it. Seth said, whatever. 2 was like, how the kids talk to each other, how they talk to us. And there's a million little things. Doesn't even matter what the fight was about. But the things that when we sort of stood back after having that final conversation where we understood one another better and our motives and everything, I came up with 8 things that I feel like I gained from the conversation. So here is number 1.
All right.
There is no I in couple. And teamwork makes the dream work. So I feel like one of the things that we were doing wrong is it was sort of that separating of me versus you. That to me was something that we were kind of fighting for control individually and not looking at our relationship as being like a unified thing that we work toward a goal together. What do you think about that idea?
Well, no, I definitely agree. There's no I in couple, and teamwork makes the dream work. And I think the places where when we get in arguments mostly is just from maybe me or you having too much of a focus on the I, and where like ego gets in the way. And if we can like actually slow down and say, holy crap, this is ridiculous. What is like the long-term view of the marriage, and how do we want to be in a marriage? We want to be happy. We want to be loving. We want to be kind. We want to feel encouraged. And also we want part of ourselves as an individual in that. But like when there's too much individual, then it's just like, oh, my feelings are hurt, or I'm pissed, or whatever, or your feelings are hurt and you're pissed, and blah, blah, blah. And then that's where we just kind of go down in the cycle of feeling misunderstood, not communicating well, saying hurtful things. That's kind of what I get to eventually after we argue. And that's definitely not where we want to be.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of it was like not having that teamwork mindset, like a goal-oriented teamwork mindset. We're in this together. It was more like, I wanted this and you didn't do that. It was very much versus, not together. So
that's
then,
a good one. I like that one.
Number 2, which falls right in line with number 1, is honor your differences. Don't just tolerate them. So what does that say?
It says create workarounds to conflict and differences. What do you mean a workaround to conflict and differences?
When I think of honoring our differences, that's Dan Siegel's line: honor differences, promote linkages.
Right.
And when you find a difference, it's always in the form of something that irritates one or the other person, right? So let's use the Canada coffee shop, for example. Like our difference was I like to research where we go. You just went to the first place you saw because you thought, oh, we want coffee, right? So instead of me honoring that you did what you thought was right in that moment, I was like, how could you be so dumb, right? What made you think this? Or why would you do that? And so what I should have been doing was creating like using that conflict as a signal to be like, oh, this thing is happening like in this moment. It's currently happening. We're walking into a coffee shop that I don't want to go into. I'm not sure why he's going in there. And that should be a signal to me to speak up in a loving way.
Yes.
And create like, okay, this is not what I was anticipating. I'm not going to wait till it's too late. I'm not going
because in the argument, you did wait until it was too late. And I was like, you said yes, and we both went in at the same time, and then you...
And part of that was that I wanted you to read my mind. I wanted you to like attune to me and be like, oh, she doesn't look like she likes this place, but whatever. But in that, it's the honoring of our differences and not letting the conflict or the difference itself fuel a negative fire, if that makes sense. It's like, honor it. Don't get pissed off about it. You know what I mean? Which is hard. It's very hard because sometimes our differences...
It's insanely hard. And to be upfront, this is probably what most of our stuff stemmed from over the summer.
Yeah.
Like honoring this and understanding and then promoting. Like, I just get pissed because this is the umpteenth time it happened. Then you would feel hurt and stuff. And we just repeated that cycle over and over.
And then number 3 is the promote linkages. Find your overlap. And so this is the best, like, promote linkages sounds so weird to me. Like,
can you like just kind of slow that one down and actually define it? Because I've heard you talk about it a million times and I don't fully understand it.
That's why I reworded it. I say, so it starts with honor your differences. Promote linkages is what Dr. Siegel says.
Right.
But I think of it like this. So respect the ways that you're different. Figure out the ways that you're the same. And like find your overlap. So if we're different... So I think of those two like circles, like a Venn diagram.
Right.
Where there's 2 circles like this. Right?
Yes.
So you have to narrate. This is you.
Hold on.
So this is Seth and this is me. And we have this little point of it's really hard to see.
Yeah, where's the
point of overlap here?
Right.
Right? You want to honor the ways that we don't overlap, but really promote the overlapping and linking parts
where it says Venn diagram. In the middle of the thing, that's where the similarities are. That's what we can promote, right?
Yes. And so I, on my list, wrote things like, and this is something that y'all can come up together with as a couple, or even know yourself really well as an individual, what your potential overlap might be with someone. And it's things like, we both like movies, or we like
that's what I wanted to say.
Or,
so let's like give listeners a real-time thing, because we have never done like a Venn diagram. Sure, we talk about it theoretically and all this stuff, but what are the actual things? So what is part of your outer circle that
cleanliness?
Nice try.
Well, you answer that. What things about me do you not like that you don't understand, that you have to force yourself to honor?
Almost everything.
I wish that wasn't true.
To honor. Oh man, we should have thought of this before I thought of it. So I apologize. Okay, how about we'll talk about interests, which I think we've talked about before. But for me, hunting, outdoor stuff.
Well, like hunting, I have no desire, and I actually really don't like that you hunt.
So how do you honor that though?
Like, I let you go hunting. I don't stop you from going hunting. I don't complain about it. I don't fuss about it. So I organize and put your hunting stuff in a way in the shed so it won't get all moldy.
Thank you.
Like that's a way that I can honor our differences.
So something that I can honor, like I've started doing this thing, I don't know, for 5 weeks almost. Like I try to make sure that all the dishes are clean, and I vacuum the bathrooms and the dog hair up before I go to work, right? Because I know that you like cleanliness, right? vacuuming dog hair and washing all the dishes in the dishwasher before I go to work has never been on my radar, but I chose to do that because it's a way that I can honor you in that. So cleanliness, I think you just said that tongue in cheek, but I think that you are absolutely right.
Oh, I meant it
on that. Yeah.
Okay,
so that's good.
So those are our differences that we need to honor in one another. Now, the thing, our overlap, the Venn diagram center pieces.
I feel some high fives coming on, girlfriend.
One overlap that I wish we could explore but haven't is rock climbing.
Woo!
Inside rock climbing.
Ooh, take that.
I really like that kind of thing. I like traveling a lot. I think that's one of our biggest overlaps.
We try to do.
What else did I write?
Cooking, having fun, singing, dancing.
Video games or like Tetris or Mario Kart or playing.
Taking walks.
Spot it.
We like to do firewood stuff. You know, we like to have, I mean, this seems small, but we like to have outdoor fires, right? You don't like bonfires when we blow up crap and be awesome?
The kids like it. I don't like that the firemen always have to come.
Yeah, that's a thing. Creating a cozy home environment. We both enjoy that and like it, and it's good for the kids. What else?
We like eating food from all over the world.
Yes.
We love food a lot. And that's like, these are really positive overlap things. There are the differences, or there are the linkages that we want to promote.
Yes.
The things we have in common that we want to have more in common and do more. Right?
Yeah, and it's really simple. It's like, do what you both like, honor what you don't like, and give room for that.
And I think, like, from this summer of really hard, intense arguments and conflict and weird stuff, I think that we weren't doing that overlap stuff. We were in kind of like go mode for family time. Like, we just had to do what our families wanted to do, go where we
extended families, you mean?
Yeah, extended families. And those are all really good things, but we just didn't have downtime for our own overlap promotion and linkage promotion. So, and then this goes right into number 4. Couples really need quality us time, and you have to make it a priority, which we almost never have done that.
No.
And so I think we're now kind of understanding that we actually need it, because we can we're go-getters. We like to do. And we kind of thrive on that, like creating and going and working.
I think so. That's weird. So like the things that would be in the middle of our Venn diagram really bring us individual and personal joy, like creating a new program or doing this or who knows what, like dreaming big. And we both like that, and we both thrive off of that. It kind of feeds us. However, that doesn't leave time for actual individual time, you know? So do you actually like individual time with me? Is that a linkage? Is that a promotion that you like?
I like individual time with you, but often it's the leftover scraps of the day. It's like the kids get all of our time, or our projects get all of our time. And then the individual time that I get with you is not something that it's not that the time itself is not good. It's that the setting of it is not, it's like we're super tired and just need to go to bed.
Right.
It's not, we're at a restaurant eating fun food. If that was the end of my day with you every day, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that.
See what I'm saying?
That can't be. So, what is the remedy?
The remedy.
No, the remedy to that. What is the remedy? Remedy to that for us, and maybe some insight for listeners. Like, what does that actually look like for us?
Well, I have a list. Actually, I just started a list on Google Keep, which is a new thing I started using. I love it already. And one of the things is like, it's just personal things that make me feel good and connect with family. And one of them is like, if we did yoga together, or if we did Just Dance together, or if we watch the Great British Baking Show together, like things like that actually really do make me feel close and connected and whatever. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do you agree with that, or feel like something is...
No,
there's more there?
I agree with it. So maybe that's an area where I could honor the difference. I don't care about the Great British Baking Show.
But you would like it if I watched Seinfeld with you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Or, I mean, I'll watch the Great British Baking Show just sitting... I mean, we did last night, right? Just sitting close together and whatever. So I can honor that and be happy with it.
Yeah. But quality us time is what the whole thing is. So
Mm-hmm.
how do we make that? That might be a okay us time. Let's find a quality us time. Right?
You know, it was really fun. So we went to sushi on Friday night, and you brought a deck of cards, and we played blackjack at the sushi table after we finished. That was...
And I won a personal back massage.
Yeah, we were betting massages, and she won. So, and
I've never played blackjack before.
Or 21. And I was thinking about that. I think Saturday or something, and that was actually fun.
That's on my like personal Google Keep board of like, what would be something fun? I knew we were going to go out without kids that night. And so I was like, I'm just going to pack a tiny bag. I put bananagrams in it, spot it, and playing cards.
Deck of cards,
and like for a part of that date, I played solitaire while we were just chatting, and it was really, really fun. And then we played 21 or whatever it is.
It was really fun. And I like exploring, as a therapist, I like exploring ideas of, okay, what actually made this work for other couples. So I'm really just thinking a lot about what made that night fun for us. And when I say fun for us, I kind of look towards the individual, like, okay, was I stressed about anything? Was I not anxious, or was I anxious about stuff? And what made it work for me? Like, what made it work for me to actually relax and be like, oh, blackjack is fun. And I think I liked it so much because I was able to teach you how to play blackjack. And then we were just kind of going back and forth and actually playing. And, you know, we had sushi and it was good and it was fun. But really thinking about those times, like in therapy, we talk about solution focused. Okay, when was the problem not a problem? And then we try to increase the times when it wasn't a problem. You know, if it worked this time, let's try it again. Sometimes that doesn't always work, but I was just thinking about that dinner that you and I had. So, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, and it was just an idea that sort of came to my head of like, oh, actually, you know what? It wasn't. It was from the Instagram poll and the Facebook poll that I asked about how people connect with their partners.
Oh,
and
yeah.
people suggested really fun things like playing cards or whatever. And someone said they played like Uno at a restaurant or I don't remember if it was Uno. They played it at a restaurant, and I was like, that is so fun.
Yeah.
And so I decided to take just a deck of cards. I don't think we have Uno. You might have it, but
I have Uno. Yeah.
and so, yeah, thank you for that suggestion. And I'm going to create a whole list of date night ideas from the polls.
From that poll, yeah.
It was awesome. The feedback was so good and helped our marriage already.
It did.
So,
thanks, AOM listeners.
Yeah.
Thanks,
and
Obama.
So the number 5 is find the best communication style for you. Specifically, individually, personally. And why I'm saying that is that I'm a writer, like a processor. Like I like to talk and think and I'm like a teacher kind of processor.
Right.
So I want to flip everything over, look at it. How does it work? What do you do? What do you need? Why does it break? Why does it this? Seth is not that. He doesn't want that. All of that input is too much input. And that was something that we really understood and figured out in these last couple months of like, I'm overloading Seth with information that isn't valuable in his mind necessarily. And basically what he would prefer, but maybe doesn't even know, is like the Cliff's Notes version of it. Like, like okay, Melanie, you've processed it. Now tell me what I need to do kind of a thing. I think that is obviously that's individual for each individual. But as being a therapist, like I hear story all day long and process all day long. Yeah, you process with other people their stuff all the time. And don't want to process your own probably.
Well, I don't want to process your process, which I have to check myself because I want to really honor that with you. And well, this is her process. So how can I be understanding and relational and give her what she needs? Sometimes if we're in an argument and it's stressful and I'm flooded, it's like too much kind of thing.
Yeah. And then on top of that too, just sort of knowing your differences in communication styles, there's actually like, do you prefer to read an email or do you prefer like sticky notes, like little tiny sticky notes throughout the day to communicate something that whatever? Or do you prefer a chore chart type of like a checklist? Ways to communicate things and really get specific. Like I think that the love languages are great. I think they're wonderful, but I don't need a whole love language. I need like love words, like a love dialect, like a very specific.
You need love directives.
I guess but I don't want this like generalized idea of whatever.
Right.
And so to me that translates into my communication style and the specifics of that, and your communication style and the specifics of that. So just get really specific with like your best communication styles, and the same Venn diagram thing. Like maybe you're a verbal processor, but your partner likes emails. Do talk to type and verbally process in an email, and then go back and edit it and give him the Cliff's Notes or her the Cliff's Notes, right? I think it's just a matter of really finding your best version of communicating, editing it down once you're done, making it as clear as humanly possible, and then communicating.
Right. And sometimes these interventions that we talk about really don't feel natural at all.
Yeah.
Like, what? I have to write this crap down, and you can have all kinds of negative self-talk telling you why you shouldn't do those things. And in our experience of 14 years being married, it really, really is helpful. Like I wish that I just had like a word count of all the letters and emails that we've written to each other, because it would be in the hundreds of thousands. And I'm not even joke. It would be like insane, because that's how you process, right? And then I remember early on dating and stuff, you would send me these long emails and stuff, and I would like to read them, and then I would be like like write 2 or 3 sentences back, because that wasn't my style, but I honored your style and would read it and take it into consideration.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, what would be my style? I think
your communication style.
Oh yeah. I like emails, I think, probably because I've learned the value of that with you, and some talking without like too much processing. But I just wanted to reiterate that it may seem really unnatural, but it really is worth it if you put the time in, just like obviously anything.
Yeah. And I do want to say emails, I know a lot of people don't like communicating through emails, or some people don't, but one of the benefits that I find from email communication is that it's searchable. You can go look at the things you actually said, you actually did say you wanted that, and I messed up, I thought you wanted this other thing.
Or the one that you left off the list, recording yourself and then texting it to
voice memos.
Just voice memos. I think that was phenomenal, the half a dozen times that we've done it before, because what it does, it allows you to process individually what you're actually thinking without the external stimuli of I'm being triggered by her, or she looked at me funny, or whatever, or I'm embarrassed to say this. You record what you're saying just like a journal, and you talk into your phone as if you're journaling and no one would read it.
Or as if you're emailing, kind of. I mean, there's different versions, but
it's a little bit different. But for me, the one that worked best is just like recording, putting it all out there, and then deciding, was this something that I actually want to say? Does it get my point across? Am I articulating everything that I felt needed to be articulated? And then sending it to you in anticipation of you listening to what it said and recording something and sending it back.
Yeah.
Because that's how it works.
Yeah. And I'll put a link to the recording episode. We did an episode about it, 2 episodes, I think. And one of the things that we've gotten listener feedback about using that intervention is that when they hear themselves record what they're feeling upset about, it like really, some people are like, when I heard myself say the words out loud, I just started crying, because they're like, it's like you're hearing your own vulnerability in a new way. So I would suggest that is a great communication style. Thank you for bringing it up. Yeah,
that's beautiful too, because it also can elicit a new level of self-acceptance that you have if you can hear yourself talking and not say, oh, I sound like an idiot or whatever.
And self-awareness.
Yeah, self-awareness. And I think
that's what it did for me, is a self-awareness of like, oh, I sound really mean right now.
Really?
Like I recorded my thing and listened back and was like, God, I sound like I'm yelling at him.
Do you want to know something that you may not know? All right, fine. Number 5.
What?
No, when the times that I've done the voice memos or like really journaled something to you, when I read it back, I see myself as like a really vulnerable person, and it like gets me emotional seeing myself get to that point anyway, because it takes a lot. For one, it's hard. For two, and then three, it's like a different level of accepting yourself kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know how everybody says like, oh, I hate the way I sound on tape or whatever like that. Well, if you can get over that and then really speak from your heart and then listen back to it, it's, for me, it really kind of just hit me hard. And if I can accept that, then I'm doing good. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is that confusing?
Yeah. Well, no, and that goes right into number 6. It's envision the best version of us. And that, I feel like that phone voice memo recording thing allows you to envision and reshape the best version of your message to your partner.
Yeah.
You can redo it 100 times if you need to, right? But so number 6, like I said, envision the best version of us and then map it out and how to get there, right? And so this takes a little bit of imagination, and I think it's really fun to do. But I think of like imagining what other people see us like if we go to a party with all of our children. How do we want, like, not like judgmental, I'm not worried about that, but like how do we talk to like, okay, how do we talk to each other when we're a family? Like, do we hug and kiss and laugh, or are we angry?
Mostly hug and kiss and laugh. Yes.
So if you don't currently hug and kiss and laugh, but you want to, imagine seeing your family at a party, but you're looking at your own family. You know what I'm saying? And you imagine, oh, like he's touching her back and she's laughing, and
you're visualizing it, right?
Yeah, you're visualizing it, and you're like, maybe the wife is playing with the daughter and the son is running over there and getting a drink, and it's fun, and like you can literally see the family that you want to turn your family into. Right. You have to have a goal in mind. You have to be able to understand and at least imagine what it looks like before you get there. Yeah. Yeah. So something as simple as like, when you've talked about having a one of your love languages as being like words of affirmation and touch. Right. And I have a really hard time with that because that's just not in my sort of world of family of origin. And so I had to literally visualize myself, like, what does that look like? Because I imagine the first thing that comes to mind is like this patronizing, stupid version of it. Like, oh, you're so good at everything. Like that's what I imagine is like this really ugly, sarcastic thing. So I have a thought on that, but continue. I had to force myself to be like, what's the best version of what Seth is asking for that I could bring, that I would actually agree with and feel good about. And then I've had to visualize it in my mind. Like, oh, I would be comfortable doing these things. Like when you're sitting drinking coffee in the morning, I can walk over to where you sit and rub your back and say, how did you sleep? And all of like, and I can imagine those things. Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I'm thinking of how Elrod and the book The Miracle Morning, like visualization is part of his 6 steps to the Miracle Morning. And I actually do this often. And I think when I was coming home from work on Friday, there's a certain point in the road on my route home where I like start thinking about what kind of dad do I want to be when I walk through the front door? What kind of husband do I want to be? You know what? The kids will probably be crazy and I'm going to respond this way. Melanie might be busy and I would like to kiss her when I come home, but if that doesn't happen, it's fine because she's not doing it on purpose, and like actually visualizing what kind of dad and husband and person I want to be for the next, I don't know, 3 hours of my life when I come home, right? And it's really, really helpful. Yeah. So yeah, the power of visualization is huge. We probably should do a whole podcast on that because I find it just fascinating, and the power to change your future in that respect. So yeah, so I think you visualize what you want in your relationship and
Yeah.
then map out the steps that it takes to get there. Like,
Mhm.
what are the little incremental things that you have to change and work on and improve to get to that couple that's laughing on the couch at a party with their kids? Like,
Yeah.
you can get there.
And then identifying why you want to be that way. It's not just a way of like, oh, I want to seem like I'm happy and
Oh, yeah.
blah, blah,
No,
blah.
like, genuinely.
Yeah, it has to be a real thing. Like, this is really what I want for my
Yeah.
marriage. This is the vision that I have for my kids and my husband and wife. So
Yeah. And
All
then number 7 is use the from you for you method that I made up in Canada because I was desperate.
So I don't remember this,
Cool.
probably because I was mad. But will you explain it to me, and our listeners can hear it firsthand as well?
I'm just going to read this letter because this was a letter that we wrote in Canada. Like, it was seriously stressful. We were fighting a lot, like bad. And I this is the letter that I wrote to Seth. I want this to get better. I want us to find a path to togetherness again by starting with what we want from our relationship, each other and ourselves, not by coming from a place where we are continually pointing out what the other does wrong, how the other is bad or flawed, or how the other needs to change. Here are some questions that I made up that might be clarifying for us both. And here is the from you for you method. And here are the questions. What do I want from our relationship? So what is it that I want our relationship to give me personally? Number 2, what do I want for our relationship? Right? So like, what things what do I want our relationship to look like? Kind of like the envision the best version of yourself. What do I want for our relationship? Number 3, what do I want from you?
No, what do I want? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, from you. What do I want from you? So what do I want from Seth? What do I want him to give me? What do I want for him? What do I want Seth to have? And then number 5, what do I want from myself? Number 6, what do I want for myself? And so I'll just go through the answers really quick to help it make sense. But what do I want? Number 1, what do I want from our relationship?
And this is what she
This is
actually
what I wrote to
and
him.
had me read.
What I want from our relationship is the facilitation of giving and receiving love, strength, compassion, and warmth to one another. What I want from our relationship is a sense of feeling held well, understood, accepted, and safe. What I want for our relationship, number 2, is to see it thrive, to see us blossom within it, and to watch it as it grows stronger, stable, balanced, and healthy. What I want for our relationship is equality and equanimity. Number 3, what I want from you is your happiness, your partnership, your excitement, your friendship, your acceptance, and your joy. What I want for you is to feel solid and grounded in who you are, knowing that you are loved and accepted, knowing that you do good work, knowing that you are strong, brave, innovative, smart, and adventurous. What I want from myself is tangible growth toward these relationship goals, the ability to see my flaws from Seth's eyes and not hand them back to him. What I want for myself is to feel accepted, to feel free to express my opinion. And then I had Seth do the same things.
Should I read mine? I think this is a kick-ass intervention, by the way. I don't recall coming across any interventions in like the literature in grad school or other stuff. So I actually want to say that this is a really good intervention. Okay. And I answered these questions sitting in a coffee shop in Canada, still mad, but I was able to answer the questions. What I want from our relationship is to build great partnership with you that is better than any other relationship I have, to be known and accepted and encouraged and deeply, deeply listened to feel that anything else can happen in our world, and to know that you are there, we are there together, to feel loved and touched. What I want for our relationship is to become secure in one another, to work together so strongly that we know each other's signs and signals when we're happy, loved, stressed, unhappy, and sad. I want to read into each other and to know that we are the best we can be together, to be an awesome me, and also to be an awesome mui, which is a Dan Siegel.
Shout out to Dan Siegel.
What I want from you, to touch me and feel me, to anticipate how I like to be loved. I want you to crash into me with who you are. Not like the Dave Matthews song. I was not thinking about that. Trust me. What I want for you to be who you are in all senses. I want you to be happy, not stressed, fulfilled, secured in who you are as a woman and what that means to you. What I want from myself is to accept myself without judgment, without comparison to others, to be who I am at all times. Which is interesting because there's family of origin stuff there and all kinds of stuff. So this is really a deep-seated intervention that can go as deep as you want
a
or
lot,
as not.
I think.
Yeah. So if you're willing to do it, I suggest you do it. What I want for myself, to feel free from anxiety and incorrect expectations that I put on myself and other people, especially you.
So that is an intervention that I'm going to get up on our website.
Man,
I'll share it on
that
our...
good. Sorry to interrupt you, but I totally forgot about the intervention, and it is good. And I'm so glad that you will put it on the website to share with others because it is a rock star intervention.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, so I'll share that, and that's part of the 8 things that we learned, and that's number 7 of the insights from our worst fight in 8 years. And so use the from you for you method. Number 8. Bug the crap out of yourself to reach your goals. Nobody will do this for you. Make it happen, Cap'n.
That's right.
I literally wrote "Make it happen, Cap'n" on my
That's part of your nautical I don't know,
love
fetish.
But really though, that's another thing. I think we kind of let our goals our relationship goals slip underneath. It's like they took a back seat to everything else that was going on, to our jobs, to the stress of
to kids,
traveling and
to
kids
be honest,
and
to the podcast, to Instagram, Facebook feed, all kinds of stuff. It took a back seat, and I think that I don't want to let that happen again. So what does the good balance look like?
Well, and I think a good balance is bugging the crap out of ourselves to maintain and reach and find and go for these goals. Like setting reminders in your phone, or like I printed off, we have the like family goals that we're hanging up, and we've got written on our mirror in our entryway, like the morning meetings, daily prayers, what are our goals for that day? And all this stuff seems pretty dorky, pretty like weirdo, dumb stuff or lame. I don't know. People have weird opinions about this, but it helps.
Works.
Yeah, it helps us a lot. Another thing too that we recently started doing is the gratitude jar. I have this giant mason jar that we just cut strips of paper. It's like cream colored paper, so it matches. And we just write things whenever we think of it that we're grateful for, like little things, funny things that happened on our vacation, or our cars, or a song we sing sometimes, or playing Just Dance at Christmas, or beating Mario. And
I spoke to this in the Anatomy of Marriage men's group Facebook page and group, and I was telling some dudes that I started a gratitude journal, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago or whatever, and it's literally one of the first things that I do is write all the things that I'm thankful for in whatever kind of narrative you want, but you and the kids are always on there, and other blessings. And like, so going back to the gratitude jar thing, you can write something as, I was going to say insignificant, but it's not. It's something that we take for granted every single day.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning.
Yeah.
My house didn't burn down.
Yeah. So those are our 8 things that we learned for our 8 insights from our worst fight in 8 years. Should be our worst 800 fights in 8 years, really.
Yeah, I know.
But really quickly before we end this episode, if you're not signed up for our email newsletter, please go to anatomyofmarriage.com and sign up to receive those emails. There's a couple of reasons for that. You learn inside stuff we don't share anywhere else. We send to your emails each week. And then on top of that, we have some surveys that we're asking people to fill out for us, and we can do that through email, and it's already been super helpful. So if you filled out some of our surveys, thank you so much. Yeah. We'll send out more surveys. We want to know as much as we can about you and what you really want, what you're enjoying or not enjoying. And the feedback has just been amazing. And it's the sort of the next step for us to know where we can start doing events.
Yes,
And
that's a big thing.
Working with churches and getting all that stuff lined up. So it's really important if you can sign up for our email newsletter and take our surveys. That is amazing. And then we're ramping up our listener Q&A episodes. And one of the steps we took for that is getting a voicemail line.
Oh, yeah.
So call us at 425-310-2194 and leave us a voicemail. So you're going to see there's going to be voicemails in upcoming episodes. But seriously, it is so fun to hear your voice. Just don't say who you are and you will be anonymous because we don't see your name. But again, call us 425-310-2194.
That's right. And we'll play your voice on the show.
So yes, thank you so much. We hope you have a good week and sign up for our email newsletter. Okay.
That's right.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Lates.